G'day, today we're gonna have a yarn about the importance of ants in the world, what role they play, and how they go about their business in society. But first, let's crack on with a quick intro to the life of ants. Ants are part of the most popular group of insects in the world. Belonging to the arthropod phylum and the Hymenoptera order, they are found everywhere except in the polar regions. Ants are social insects. In each ant colony, there are many queens responsible for reproduction, and they can live up to 18 years. Ant queens mate during their nuptial flight, and the male dies shortly after. Before laying eggs, the queens shed their wings. Each ant has a well-defined role within the colony, with tasks divided among them. In an ant nest, there are ants responsible for security, those who dig tunnels and gather food, and those who care for the larvae. The ant nest is a complex structure, filled with galleries and underground tunnels extending for several meters. The ants communicate through a chemical substance called pheromone. As they walk, they leave behind a trail of this substance, which is perceived through their antennas. Generally, ants defend themselves by stinging and injecting formic acid into their victims, causing a lot of irritation. These insects can carry an object weighing 100 times more than their own weight. The diet of ants depends on their species, as some are carnivorous, others herbivorous, but most ants are omnivorous, meaning they eat everything: animals, plants, and human food scraps. In the countryside or in the city, in forests or on the kitchen sink, in cartoons or superhero movies, ants are a constant presence in human life. Unfortunately, these insects still carry the stigma of harmful creatures, often considered agricultural or urban pests. This happens because some species have adapted very well to living alongside us, feeding on resources and leftovers that we produce. They have come to live in plantations, houses, buildings, squares, and yards all over the world. In these places, ants find everything they need: a shelter against predators, protection from weather, and an endless source of food, like sugar pots and breadcrumbs left on the table after breakfast. Many people are worried that, during their wanderings around the house or building, these ants also roam in contaminated areas, such as garbage bins, and then walk on household utensils or food, carrying disease-causing microorganisms with them. At home, hypochondriacs can rest assured there are no reports in the specialized literature of contamination in residences caused by ants. The only concern in these environments is the sting. Although the vast majority of urban ants do not have a sting, some people may develop allergic reactions to the attack of certain species. Contaminations brought by insects, not just ants, are only worrisome in hospitals, which house people with fragile health, already predisposed to infections. Today, we know about 14,000 species of ants. Of these, only about 100, less than 1%, have any potential to cause harm to humans. When it comes to ants, the benefits outweigh the drawbacks. These small social insects play a fundamental role in our lives. Predatory ants are among the main controllers of herbivorous insects in the world. This means that, in their absence, populations of arthropods that feed on plants would grow so much that forests and plantations would be devastated. In other words, ants are more like pest controllers than pests themselves. This relationship between plants and ants also involves seed dispersal. Thus, these insects help in the reproduction of various plant species, whether in nature or in cities. In addition, they do a lot of good for the soil, as the excavation of their nests increases the concentration of nutrients and water in the soil. Finally, ants are a tasty snack for many animals. Since these arthropods are, alongside termites, the most abundant insects on the planet, they have become fundamental elements of various food chains, and are part of the menu of a huge list of living beings. They are on the menu for other invertebrates, such as spiders, amphibians, such as frogs and toads, and also mammals, such as the anteater and even the big orangutan. If YA enjoyed the video, chuck us a comment suggesting what critter or bug YA reckon should feature next, smash that like button, and subscribe to the channel, mate.